Hey, good morning, guys. It's Wednesday, September 18th. An unspectacular life. Now all had been heard. Here is the conclusion of the matter: fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the duty of all mankind. Ecclesiastes 12:13. Solomon lived a spectacular life highlighted by untold riches, 1,000 wives and concubines, and the construction of a majestic temple. But at the end of his life, he wrote that all is vanity and striving after wind. 114. At a 2017 high school commencement ceremony, teacher Eric Ling told about someone who lived a far less spectacular life, his father, who had died 18 months earlier. As Ling grew up, his father spent a lot of time alone in his study. In the house for the first time after his dad's death, Ling went into the study. In his desk drawer was a long prayer list of specific people and exactly what they were going through, said Ling, with a reminder to himself: pray daily. Next to this was a second list, a list of people my father knew who needed help and exactly what that help might be. Several of these he was crossing out, one by one. What a testimony. In his most private and alone times, my father was living out what he believed, not for personal recognition, but for the kingdom. At the funeral, person after person spoke to us of how my father just showed up. Whenever someone was in need, he was there. This was significant for many reasons, but mostly because my father was painfully quiet. He would blend into any room, unnoticed, and he actively spurned recognition of any kind. He lived by earthly standards an unspectacular life and experienced limited professional success. Yet he had a high calling. His vocation was to show God's love to others by being faithful with his gifts. And everyone he encountered, including myself, saw glimpses of the kingdom through this simple man. Humility, self-sacrifice, love of God, love of others, generosity. May each of us live such an unspectacular life of obedience and faithfulness. I really like that story. What a contrast, first of all, to the notoriety and excesses of the richest man in the world, Solomon, and his, really struggled by the end of his life, and this man who hardly anybody knew. It reminds me a lot of my grandfather, Alkire, and that's always good to remind me of one of my favorite people I ever witnessed living. But yeah, that same kind of characteristic of just helping others all the time and never ever wanting, or even people even knowing half of the things that he would do. I mean, the people he did them for did, but just no notoriety. And this story was great. I love it. I love how that teacher did that, and it's a great example of really what the deal is in our life. So a good lesson for us on our way to work on the middle of the week. Love you guys, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.